Allow life to show you how to let go. What's up, everyone? My name is Morrissey, and if you're new to this channel, I encourage others to live with effortless ease. And today, I would like to talk to you all about how life will show you how to let go. You don't necessarily need to know all of your attachments in this moment, because we're not going to know what we're attached to until it's time to let go. So the most important thing, and what your priority should be, is the experience life is giving you in this moment. You know, the majority of us know that letting go is a part of ascending in the spiritual awakening process. It's a part of the law of attraction and conscious manifestation. It's a part of our transformation. Like down below if you knew that. If you knew that letting go is a part of our awakening. So as we move forward in our spiritual awakening process, and as we become more aware, it's important that we begin to feel within for those things that are not a part of us. And when I say this, what I'm saying is that many times there is this conflict between our thoughts and our emotions. Sometimes our emotions are telling us to go for something, to do something, but our emotions, they're telling us otherwise. So we feel this confusion within us, which causes suffering, which causes us to hold on to all those old habits that we have always fell into. And it doesn't allow us to step out of our comfort zone and move forward. And you know, from my experience and from what I've seen and learned and understood, is that our emotions will always tell us the truth. Not necessarily the ultimate truth, but the relative truth for our state of being in that moment. You know, a couple days ago, I had this goal. I was like, I want to create a video and I want to start creating more consistently. You know, that is my goal, to create more consistently. And so I was sitting down right here, getting ready to create my video, but within me there was a block. And I felt this confliction between my thoughts and my emotions. You know, deep down, I didn't feel ready to do that video. Deep down, I didn't want to do it, and I wanted to wait the next day to film the video, but my thoughts said, no, you made this goal, do it. You'll get over it, just do it. And I did it. And I was doing too many takes. I don't like doing too many takes. If anything, I like to do one and be done. That's the best way my videos come out. But my mind was just like, go. And what that created was this amplified emotion. It was so intense. I got so drawn into that emotion. And then these repetitive thought patterns, they just kept coming up. The same thoughts just kept coming up, and they weren't helping me. They were thoughts that were only pulling me down. Thoughts taking me out of the present moment and pulling me into this illusion of the future, this illusion of how the video would come out, and how me not being consistent would not help with my growth. And so it created so much turmoil in that moment that I had to let go of this idea of filming the video in that day. This idea that I needed to create consistently in order to be happy. This idea that my happiness and my fulfillment came from creating a video, right? And you know, maybe by me telling the story, you might be like, duh. But when you're in the moment, emotions can take over you so much that you think irrationally, and your thoughts and emotions, they feed each other. It's a cycle. First you have a thought, and that thought is then given energy. It's energized by an emotion, and because that emotion gave that thought energy, the thought gets bigger. It begins to proliferate. It creates this pattern where the energy just becomes more intense and the thoughts become more intense. And unless you are aware of it and able to watch it, you're going to be in it. You're going to become the thought. And that's basically what happened. And the beauty from the story is this: my choice to let go allowed me to let go of a certain idea, concept that I had attached myself to. So what happened was life began to take away this idea of who I was, and it created space for me. Space for me, for my true self to recognize its power. And in that moment of surrender, that choice for me to surrender, I recognized I received a lot of insight and inspiration, and I felt that all that energy that I had been using to push, all that energy that was just suffering and burden and responsibility, it was transmuted into a greater field of presence. It was transmuted into light, like the darkness, it was transmuted into light. It was brought up for me to see it. And I said, forget about it. And it just became this greater field of presence. I felt like I had a more expanded awareness. I realized how futile and distracting those thoughts were. I realized how pointless that goal was to make sure I finished that video. I recognized how pointless it was and how the power was within me. Many times what life will do is it will take those things that we're holding on to so much, and it will make them collapse. They crumble, they fall, they dissolve, they're no more. And what happens in that moment where that form that you were attached to, that form that is impermanent, that is by nature, it cannot last forever, it will crumble, it will fall, it's temporary. And what happens is you have no choice but to recognize that eternal power within you. And that's what happens. And you can think about this in other aspects in terms of relationships, right? Many of us have had very meaningful relationships in our lives, whether it was a friendship or romantic relationship, where we used to hold on to someone and found our identity in that. And then all of a sudden, that relationship was gone, it collapsed, it fell, it was no more. And we had to, quote unquote, find ourselves again. And in that moment, you recognize strength. It's those moments where we are forced to transform. We are forced to recognize and see ourselves, that we see how pointless that thing we once held on to, we see how pointless it actually was. So allow life to teach you how to let go. Allow life to be your guide, because like I said, you don't have to know everything that you're attached to in this moment. We know we have to release attachment from so many things, but understand that this moment right now, whatever you're experiencing in that moment, whatever emotions you feel, whatever thoughts begin to arise in your mind, be there in that moment. And don't feed into the thought, but become aware of it. That thought will intensify, but keep your awareness on it. Be aware of it. That's the only thing you can do, because trying to find a solution with your mind is impossible, because your mind is a part of the problem. Your mind is a part of the reason why you feel like it's a problem, because beyond thought, there is no problem. The thought is the problem. So understand that when you become aware of the thought, it may intensify, but just allow it to be there, and then it begins to dissolve and it's no more. And you recognize that every solution that you need is beyond thought. It comes to you without any words. It's a feeling, it's a knowing, it's just a recognition, it's remembering the truth of who you are. So like down below if you've ever felt that before. Like down below if life has forced you to surrender to a point where all of that energy was transmuted and it was transmuted into a greater field of presence, where you were awakened to a whole new world that was always there, but showing you how limitless you are, how free you are, how safe you are, and how pointless those thoughts you once were attached to were. So my name is Morsi. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out these 2 videos on the screen. Until next time, peace.